Cabinet has agreed to pay the sum of $5 million to the families of the 20 children who lost their lives and those injured in the fire which destroyed the female dorm of the Mahdia Secondary School. According to the agreement seen by this newscast, the government has offered the families $5 million as described as financial assistance, but will be constituted a settlement of all claims and causes of actions on account of all injuries resulted in death and none resulting in death. The families, according to the contract, are urged to read and fully understand the document, and their acceptance must be voluntarily accepted. Further, it is said that before the agreement is signed, the families must seek independent legal advice, in particular, its effect on the ability to pursue all rights before the court. There are reports that some families have begun to accept compensation. The agreement was signed on behalf of the government by the Regional Executive Officer, Peter Ramatar, who, when we called, said he had no knowledge of the document. The agreement was dated July 3rd. Attorney-at-Law Griffith, along with Attorney-at-Law Lal from the Attorney General Chambers, signed as witnesses. Griffith represented the interests of the families, while Lal represented the interests of the state. 20 children, including a 5-year-old boy, lost their lives in the deadly fire, while several others were injured. One child was flown overseas for medical treatment. Firefighters with assistance from residents were forced to break through walls in order to rescue those trapped, as all of the windows and doors were grilled. A 15-year-old is presently before the court facing 20 counts of murder due to arson. The government was heavily criticized when the teenager was charged, as it was said that the child should not be blamed for systemic failures. Meanwhile, Attorney General Anand Nandalal, in a statement on the matter, said from the beginning the government made it abundantly clear that it will offer every type of assistance possible and necessary to support the victims and their families of the tragic Mahdia dorm fire. According to the AG statement, thus far medical treatment has been offered both locally and overseas, as transportation to and from Region 8 to Georgetown and accommodation in Georgetown were provided. All funeral and related expenses have been paid, and all personal items destroyed in the fire have been purchased and delivered. Psychosocial assistance, including counseling, has also been provided. The government pledges to continue to offer support and assistance in various ways to enable the families to continue to cope with and recover from this horrendous tragedy. In this regard, many family members requested cash which they could use to make purchases that would enhance their ability to continue to provide for their families. In response to these requests, the government offered each family financial assistance, and their families were requested to sign an agreement having received independent legal advice. The process of providing this financial assistance is ongoing. In the agreement itself, the government pledges to continue to offer such support as may be necessary to the victims and their families. Given that public monies are being expended and recognizing that these expenditures will have to be transparently accounted for and agreements were reduced into writing, thus far all the affected families engaged have signed agreements.